Strain on the organizers in Moncton on Saturday, on the organizers' faces, was extraordinary as they were working tirelessly to assemble medical supplies and figure out how to get them delivered to the Ukraine where they are needed. They were fully occupied and fully active to do what they could within their own realm. 2 weeks ago, I stood with the local Ukrainians in my riding of Fredericton South before the Legislative Assembly, and I will not forget the haunted look on the faces of a young couple I met who are here working in New Brunswick, emigrated, all their families back home, and they talked to me about their fears for their parents, for their uncles and aunts, for all of their family members. While much of the world has responded by imposing sanctions on Russia, that's not turning back Putin's invading army. The unwavering courage of the Ukrainian people is. I want to mention the international journalists who have been doing tremendous work at countering the vile propaganda that Putin has been putting out. People like New Brunswick's own Lise Doucette, who works for the BBC in Kyiv, reporting on what's happening there, and many, many others, demonstrating courage themselves to be in harm's way in some cases, like the two Associated Press journalists who just escaped from Mariupol, Mstislav Sharnov and Yevgeny Malotaka, who remained in Mariupol during the siege until yesterday. And the Ukrainian, under fire, the Ukrainian army pulled them out so they could tell their story in person to the world, because there were no longer any connections to the world from that city under siege, Mr. Speaker. I follow the posts of some of the members of Parliament from the Ukraine Parliament, and it's extraordinary. We see President Zelensky on the news every night and his inspirational words, but he's not alone. Every MP that I've been following on social media who post in English show the exact same kind of tremendous and inspirational leadership, like Kira Rudik, the leader of the Galos Party, to name one. I know that many New Brunswickers, Mr. Speaker, feel quite helpless as we see the death and destruction that's occurring in Ukraine. And it matters that we stand in solidarity with Ukraine and the Ukrainians, just as it always matters to stand in support for those who are victimized by war and victimized by those who strive to build empires from other people's sovereign countries. But solidarity is not enough, and I know lots of New Brunswickers are looking at ways to help financially and making donations to the Red Cross and to local Ukrainian associations. Soon in New Brunswick, we're going to be called to welcome children, women, and seniors who have fled the war. And I know we will step up as we did welcoming the Syrian families to New Brunswick. Already, our settlement agencies like the Multicultural Association of Fredericton and all of the other settlement agencies in New Brunswick are preparing to help mobilize us to welcome those Ukrainian folks. It's my hope in that light that the Premier will immediately provide them with access to Medicare coverage, just to ensure that that's not a concern. Maybe he's already mentioned that, but so when they arrive, they know that their health care needs will be taken care of, and I have no doubt he will support that. Mr. Speaker, on peut faire que nous pouvons faire. We've got to do what we can do. We need to do what we can do. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
The member for Fredericton Grand Lake and leader of his party.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to echo my colleagues here this morning, and I want to thank the